What up, though? This is Nathan Ray with Ray Covery coming at you with the meeting after the meeting. Today we talked about step one. We admitted that we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. There are two parts to this step. The first part is the admitting that we were powerless over the alcohol, and the second part is that our lives had become unmanageable. Really good meeting. A bunch of people showed up for a Monday afternoon. We usually don't have a crowd like this. Had to be probably about 24 people, which was a good thing. Meeting started off kind of rough for me. Seemed like it was a lot of war stories. And if you don't know what a war story is, it's basically glorifying my drinking days, persons glorifying their drinking days. And that's kind of like the first 3-4 people who shared, it kind of started off that way. And I know from experience that one person can change the whole dynamics of the meeting. And I was like, I got to get in and I got to share and I got to talk about spiritual principles and I got to talk about the solution to this program. And right when I was about to share, somebody else tuned in and they talked about the spiritual principle of willingness, and the whole dynamic of the meeting started to change, and we started to hop into the solution of our drinking problem, which was a great thing. For me, in order to work step one, I have to be practicing some spiritual principles. I have to accept the fact that I am an alcoholic. I have to accept the fact that my life had become unmanageable. I had to be honest with myself. I had to practice some courage because, it's hard to admit that, hey, like my life is unmanageable. It's hard for me to go up here and admit and say, hey, I'm an alcoholic. So it had to take me some courage, some honesty, some acceptance, some having an open mind. It had to take me having some willingness. So in order for me to work this step, I had to be practicing some spiritual principles. And those are the spiritual principles that I practice to work this step. Now, we admit that we were powerless over alcohol. I don't make this admittance by myself. We do it as a group. Yeah, each person is individual, but as a group, we are so much more powerful, and we're all in this group, and we're admitting that, hey, when I have a drink, I'm powerless. I cannot stop drinking, and that's so true for me. Like when I pick up a drink or I pick up a drug for some strange reason, and it's that disease that I got that I just can't stop. Like all bets are off when I pick up a drink and I pick up a drug. Like I really just can't stop. My life being unmanageable. Yeah, I was drinking and drugging and I couldn't manage my life. Like all I thought about was drinking and drugging. And my life was very so much unmanageable. But the thing is, today, I don't use, I don't drink, and I still can be powerless over people, places, and things. My life still could be unmanageable. But the thing is, today I have a program. I have a program of recovery, and when I become powerless over certain people, over certain places, over certain things, I have spiritual principles that I practice and that I work to help me overcome that and help me realize, like, hey, I ain't got no control over blase splee. I ain't got no control over certain things. And today my life still can become unmanageable. But thank for the God of my understanding giving me a program of recovery that I can manage some parts and some aspects of my life, and when I can't, I hop right into the solution and do something about it. Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, that like the solution to life, at least for me, the solution to me having a prosperous, a better life, being a productive member of society was in a recovery program. Whether you doing NA, whether you doing AA, whether you're doing DRA or, Cocaine Anonymous or Celebrate Recovery or Smart Recovery. There are so many different recovery programs out here today. You got to find which one you fit in. Get in where you fit in. Find out which one works best for you. I know that's at least what I had to do. And what I found out what works best for me is Celebrate Recovery, which I really don't go to that much. It's really not a lot of Celebrate Recovery meetings in my area, but I go to AA meetings on a regular basis. I go to NA meetings on a regular basis, and I'm very spiritual. And before COVID, I was going to church on a regular basis, and those are the things that I do to help me with my recovery. It teaches me about the spiritual principles that I would like to live by. So with that being said, leave a comment. Deuces.